Blacksmith for the X7 is an automated quality control solution that enables you to print high precision parts consistently and validate your parts are up to spec. Blacksmith allows you to measure the dimensional accuracy of your parts without post-process inspection tooling. In this video, we will learn about 3 key Blacksmith features: printer calibration, in-process laser inspection, and automated part quality reports. Before we can begin printing Blacksmith parts, we must meet the following requirements. Number 1, we must have one or more industrial X7 printer. We must have a valid Blacksmith license. And we must successfully complete the Blacksmith calibration utility. We will first talk about how to properly calibrate your X7 for use with Blacksmith. Before you can run the Blacksmith calibration utility, ensure that you have access to a reference bed. Note, do not remove the original print bed or install the reference bed until the utility prompts you to do so. To begin, we will want to ensure that we have onyx and carbon fiber loaded into our printer. To start the Blacksmith calibration utility, we will navigate to the menu, Utilities, Maintenance, Blacksmith calibration. Now we want to ensure that the laser lens is free of smudges and debris, and then we can press Proceed. Next, we will want to remove any objects from the print chamber and press Next to begin the Z-axis calibration. Once the printer reaches an acceptable thermal state, the calibration will begin. Take care not to jostle the printer during this time. Once the Z-axis calibration is complete, observe the print head to ensure that it does not contact the print bed or chassis. When prompted, press Proceed to run the laser guided offset utility. Make sure to apply glue to the area shown before the laser guided offset test print begins. Once the laser guided offset utility completes, we will enter the serial number listed on our reference bed and then press Next. Now, we will want to remove the original print bed and set it aside. Ensure that the reference bed is clear of debris, then install it into the printer and press Proceed. At this point, we will want to close the lid in the visor and then wait for the printer to perform its automatic XY calibration routine. This will take approximately 90 minutes. Again, take care not to jostle the printer during this time. When the calibration completes, the print head will begin to cool. When it finishes cooling, press Next. At this point, we can remove the reference bed and return it to its case. We will then reinstall the original print bed and press Proceed. Once the original print bed is installed correctly, we can press Begin to test the range of motion of our print head. If the print head was able to move freely, we can press Yes. Otherwise, we want to press No. If it was able to move freely, we can now press Done and exit the utility. If the calibration succeeds, Eiger will now recognize your X7 as a Blacksmith printer within a few minutes. At that time, a Blacksmith icon will appear on your printer's device info page. If calibration fails repeatedly, please contact support. Now that we have a Blacksmith printer, it is time to create a Blacksmith part. In order to create a Blacksmith part, we must first have an industrial series selected from the drop-down menu under Printer Type. Once we have our industrial series printer selected, we can then enable Blacksmith by using the Blacksmith toggle switch. Once Blacksmith is enabled, you can use the Scan Resolution slider to adjust the scan point density. Higher scan point density improves part quality report fidelity, but also leads to increased print time. Once you have configured the rest of your part settings as desired, you can simply hit Save to create your Blacksmith part. However, before we can print our new Blacksmith part, we must create a Blacksmith build. A Blacksmith build is simply a saved Blacksmith part set in the optimal print bed placement. Therefore, Blacksmith builds must be locked in to remove variables that may directly impact dimensional accuracy. Once the part has been locked in, we will be unable to change any print settings. Attempting to change any print settings at this time will result in a new Blacksmith build. In order to create a Blacksmith build, we will first review our Blacksmith settings for our part, and then we can hit print. We will then be redirected to the build view of our Blacksmith part. In order to lock in our build, we will select the appropriate printer and then hit Lock in Build in the lower left of our screen. At this point, you can now print your Blacksmith part. Once the part has been printed for the first time, it will become available to all users in the organization. During the print job, the laser micrometer regularly measures the part surface at the scan points. This scan point data will then be uploaded to Eiger and compiled as a part quality report. These part quality reports highlight deviations between the imported STL file and the actual printed geometry. Once the part has finished printing, Eiger will notify us that the scan data has finished processing. At this point, we can view the part quality data by opening the newly printed Blacksmith part in the build view. Simply navigate to the Builds tab on the right hand side of the screen under the Blacksmith section. In this build view, we can view current and historic scan data. The part quality report consists of the project details panel and the scan point deviation model of the part. The scan point data is color coordinated to make it quick and easy to review. This means points that show blue are close to the imported STL model, where the red points indicate measurements further away than expected. You can quickly set a tolerance range by selecting a maximum deviation value from the bar at the bottom of the screen. As before, the scan points within tolerance will appear as blue points, where points outside of this tolerance will appear as red points. In addition to the scan point data, we can also view absolute and signed surface deviation plots of our Blacksmith part. We are now ready to begin printing with Blacksmith. For additional information on Blacksmith, please visit support.markforged.com.